Good morning, it's Graham Healy from Integrated Combat Solutions, formerly Commando Krav Maga Brisbane. Well, I'm still using that name as well. There's no copyright on the name, no copyright on any of the martial arts names, basically. But anyway, so officially Integrated Combat Solutions. A little bit of my background. This is just a quick introduction for this section, because there's three different sections and I combine them all together. One, of course, I've already done. Below me is the Boxing Academy section, and this is the Integrated Combat section. So in 2000, just a quick past, present, future, 2007, I brought Monty Isaac out here, who was the founder of Commando Krav Maga. We did workshops for federal police and normal police and various martial arts instructors. So I was the first one to bring Commando Krav Maga to Australia. Monty then made me the national director because I'm ex-airline, so I'm pretty well organised. And the next year I ran nationwide seminars and workshops in every capital city, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and in Perth. And then I integrated what I'd learned from all that into my system, which is called Healy's Integrated Combat Solutions. So what will you learn with this? Okay, a lot of confusing stuff out there. And what I try to do based on experience is keep it simple. So you've got basic knife defense, you've got basic disarming of handguns, rifles, all this sort of stuff. You know, when we were doing this back in 2007, the threat of these sort of attacks were a little bit out there. Maybe if you're in the Middle East, it'd be different. But now, after Bondi and, all these various knife attacks and the introduction of third world immigrants into this country, this sort of training becomes much more relevant. So, one, there's knife defense. Two, there's defense against armed defense, basically. And I have been in armed combat in situations where I've had to disarm people with shotguns. For instance, I made the front page of the news. You can see it on one of my websites here. 2000, when was it? 89, in the 1980s, 1985, I think it was, where I defended against fully blown robbery, loaded shotgun, the whole box and dice. Made front page of the news, black belt, hero, foils armed robbery. So I've been there, done that under real situations. So when I teach you stuff, it's from someone who's actually been through real weapon defense, not someone who's thought about it or watched a couple of Bruce Lee movies, although that may help you, no doubt. So, okay, we'll just keep this short. So what will you learn with Integrated Combat Solutions? You'll learn knife, gun, and also how to get out of various locks and holes. Even there is ground defense as well, but our focus isn't on becoming the next Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion or the MMA champion or something. The problem with, and all those guys are tough and all the rest of it, but the thing is, at the end of the day, one, the very last position you want to be in when you're defending yourself in reality is on the ground. Obviously there can be other people around that can, unfortunately kick you in the head and other vital parts when you're on the ground. So from a combat soldier point of view, as Monty said to me very, very appropriately, the last position you want to be is on the ground. And they're all combat soldiers, so they knew once you're on the ground, you're stuffed. So my method of teaching is not, okay, there are releases from ground defense, but it's to get back up on your feet as quick as possible. You're best defending yourself on your feet, and people can carry on about, oh, we'll do takedowns. Good luck if you can do takedowns on us, because where there's no mat, there's no referee, and we assume that the defense is happening on concrete or bitumen, so it's not going to be soft landings for anyone. So you haven't got room for error. So in saying that, don't think that I'm teaching a whole lot of nasty techniques. What I'm teaching you, for instance, if someone goes for a takedown, how to avoid a takedown, how to steer that attacker into the turf, basically, or if someone's got you in a chokehold on the ground, how to, by using vital points, to get out of that and back on your feet as quick as possible. Those sort of things, grips and holds, standing up from the rear naked chokes and all that. They're very dangerous. And if a criminal gets you behind in a rear naked chokehold, you've got probably about 15 or maybe 5 seconds to react to it. If they lock it on, there's nothing you can do but just go to sleep or worse. You'll pass out of it because they cut off both carotid arteries. So we'll show you how to get around those very quickly. And you must, for that counter, which is an interesting one, when I show people, they never think of it. You've got to do it. You've got to have a sixth sense about it, and you've got to react very quickly. Because with those people who do the locks and grips from behind, they've got to get behind you first. And in self-defense situations, you don't want people coming up behind you. You want to keep them in front of you as much as possible. Anyway, I go into that on the class. Basically, I'm doing personal training these days. I may do classes later on again. The knife defense is about 5 or 6 different directions that someone will attack your knife with. And, I've looked at a few of the fatal situations with terrorists, even in Australia, have totally, if they only knew some of our basic techniques, they would be still alive today. And, in one in particular, I think I recorded this where it was sent out on the internet where some young bloke got attacked by some guy with a knife in the valley in Brisbane. And, just ego, and just walked right into it and basically got his throat cut and died. So very, very basic stuff. What I'm teaching is to how to lock the wrists, how to get out of different attacks, things you'd never think of. And, generally also with all my teaching, I teach you about legal responsive behaviour. In other words, proportionate behaviour. Criminal Code 1899. Most instructors don't even know what that is. I was all signed up to be a lawyer as well, and I've got med science and all this sort of stuff. But I may still do the law. But most of my different associates, and one of my instructors was a ex-army, trained the SAS, and was a lawyer as well. So we're very aware of what you can and can't do in the legal situation. It all boils down to a proportionate response. Anyway, I won't go on. That's an introduction to it. So if you want to learn how to disarm knives, guns, how to get out of any chokehold on the ground, standing up or whatever, and get back on your feet as quick as possible, not using what I call sports techniques. We're using pressure points, and we're using techniques that would be illegal in UFC or anywhere. So our objective is for you to survive and, have a nice day, basically. So that's Graham Healy. I hope that helps. So there's basically 3 modules. One is the boxing. We base everything on the technique in boxing, the moves and footwork. That's boxing. Then, this integrated combat solution is the close quarter stuff if someone gets through that distance. And of course, we've got the kicks from the martial arts side of things, how to counter various kicks, and just basic kicks. What you learn in this business is anything complicated doesn't work. Under pressure, you will only remember 3 moves, and they'll be the same 3. And what I've done, I've merged the boxing into the commando training, into the taekwondo/yunjando/martial arts kicks. So I integrate them in. So you're not looking at 3 different systems. You're looking at one system that you can train in one area and then apply it in the next area, depending on the gap between the people. So, kicking's long range, boxing's short range, open hand, all this sort of stuff. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea. I thought I'd just do another video for this part of the website. So if you wish to make a personal training appointment, just click on the link on the website. Graham Healy over and out. And, you'll be taught by someone who's got like 50 years experience, and rather than 10 minutes experience, and experience where I've, defended against real weapons. So there you go. Okay. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to this video. Hope to see you soon.